This week's language arts lesson is going to be reading The Boy and His Violin. The I can statements are exactly the same as last week, and you'll notice that the format of this week's lesson is the same as last week's when you were reading the book Teammates. So what we're going to be doing is comparing Teammates to The Boy and His Violin, but that's going to be next week when you compare. So this week you're just being introduced to a new book. It's going to have some similarities to the book Teammates, but it's also going to have some differences. And that's what you're going to have to start thinking about in order to fill out next week's graphic organizer. So the I can statements. I can summarize events using supporting details, and I can draw conclusions using the text as support. So on slide 2, this is where the story is going to be read aloud. I'm going to let you know right now that at the very end, for some reason, it cuts off like the last few words are part of the last sentence. But the book itself, if you need to actually go back to it and actually read it yourself, is going to be on the next slide. So right here where it's highlighted in red, if you click on it, it's actually going to take you to a new link that opens up the book. So that way you can either go back into the text and read all of it again, or if you need to actually just, click on one page or see the very ending, exactly, how it ended. But for the video on slide 2, it goes through each page. So you should be able to follow along with that as well. So we're just trying to give you guys some options of being able to see the text and hear it be read aloud as well. So the graphic organizer is going to be exactly the same. You actually have really 3 graphic organizers. So the questions are going to be exactly the same as what you saw with Teammates, but we're using a different book. Please make sure that you are writing in complete sentences. Many of you guys did a good job with Teammates doing that. Be very detailed in your answers. And again, right here, the same thing that you saw with Teammates. And here's the last part of the graphic organizer. So thinking about the genre of this book, the key details, the summary statement, and then also that connection piece at the very end, okay? So like I was saying earlier, this is exactly the same as what you guys did last time with Teammates. For this book, though, you will have 3 questions for your exit ticket. So please just highlight your answer choice. I'd rather you highlight the whole answer, like the whole sentence or paragraph, instead of just the letter. Makes it a little bit easier to see, but as long as you highlight it somewhere just so I can see your answer that you've chosen, I'm fine with whatever you're choosing to do. So 3 questions, 2 here, and then you have the 1 question here about summarizing. And then your option choices are basically just achieve, epic, reading a book, any book that you have at home, maybe a new book, and then of course common lit, which I'll add on to this as well, since that's always on your assignment sheet as well. So this week's assignment, again, it should look exactly like what you saw with Teammates. So if you have any questions, though, feel free to contact me with the discussion board or ask your parents to email me, and I will be more than happy to help you along the way. All right, take care, you guys.